Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I want to talk to you about how you can pick your position in basketball. Now, picking your position isn't always the easiest way to go. Generally speaking, when you try out for a team, you're not trying out for a specific position. You're going to be trying out for usually the position that the coach tells you that you're going to be playing. And really it comes down to what you're good at. It's not as clear cut as it used to be when I was a player in high school. If you were taller, bigger than the rest of the team, you were a center. If you were the smallest guy, you were a point guard. If you're an in-between height, you're generally the in-between players, the shooting guard, small forward, power forward. Now, when I was playing, at least all the coaches when I was playing, until I got into the later grades, grade 12, when we were doing AAU and stuff like that, until that point, if you were a center, you ain't reaching out to a three-point line. It's not like it is today. If you're playing today, you basically have to be an all-around player. I may be posting like point guard workouts, I may be posting small forward workouts, center workouts, but you generally have to be an all-around player. So there's 5 positions in basketball. There's the center, who is generally speaking, at least historically, in the low post. And this is the type of player who's going to get that ball. He's going to do generally a one dribble move in the low post to get a nice easy basket for 2 points. Now these are high percentage chances. In older basketball, many years ago, these were usually the highest scoring players. Players like Shaq, Tim Duncan, players like them. However, 5s are now starting to stretch out to the three-point line, and those are starting to be called stretch 5s and stretch 4s. Now, what we mean by that is for a 4, that's a power forward, and for a 5, that's a center. And you're seeing a lot more players who are low post players, centers, whatever. They're stretching out to a three-point line to be able to shoot that shot. And players like Jonas Valanciunas, who was trained over in Europe to be a center, even though this is Europe and they do ridiculous amounts of shooting drills, he was always a low post player, and lately he's been trying to stretch out to the three-point line. Boogie Cousins is another example of this. Personally, if I was guarding Boogie Cousins, I would give him a little bit of coverage. I would maybe be within 3 or 4 feet so that I can at least contest his shot. But even though he's an okay shooter from the three-point line, I would rather him shoot a three-point shot than to drive towards the basket and get a slam dunk or a layup. So if you want to be a center, what you need to be is stronger, bigger, and have the ability to be able to score from the low post. And I would suggest also getting really good at shooting from the free throw line. Because if you're getting fouled down there for 2 points, you're going to get your 3rd point from the free throw line. Now moving on to the small forward. The small forward is generally the mid-sized player on the court. However, what I like to pick in a small forward is usually the fastest player in the tryout and the fastest player on the court. The reason for this is the small forward, at least in my plays that I run as a coach, they are going to be the quickest players. They're going to be the ones who are cutting along the baseline, the long, big, high cuts along the free throw line. They're going to be the ones who are going to be leaking out on the fast break. These are the fastest players on the court. So if you are a very fast player, not the shortest, maybe not the tallest, but if you are in that middle range area and you can train yourself to be super fast, you're going to be a very successful small forward. Next is the shooting guard and the point guard. This is the position I played from grade 11 on, at least in club basketball and when I went down to the States for a D-League basketball. Basically, I was a swing guard, and many more players are becoming swing guards. What I mean by a swing guard is a player who can play point guard as well as shooting guard. So you need to have at least mediocre skills in both positions. So in point guard, you're going to be the one who is basically handling the ball probably 80 to 90% of the time. So you need to have good handles. Meanwhile, if you're a shooting guard, generally speaking, in the plays that your coach will be running, you're going to be the one shooting the ball. So you need to have a really good shot from pretty much anywhere on the court. One of the best players I played against was Brady Heslip, and he went on to break some records in the NCAA. He now plays over in Europe. However, he was an absolute killer three-point shooter. Now this guy had pretty well unlimited range. He could jack up shots like Steph Curry from the half-court line. Now, if you have a shot like that, you're going to be probably playing shooting guard. However, how basketball is evolving right now, I would suggest you learning how to dribble the ball superiorly well. And why I say this is because what happens if you're 6'4", let's say, for just as an example, I'm 6'2", and maybe your team doesn't need or has already a really good shooting guard who's maybe 6'6", and now you're being pushed into a point guard position. If you don't have the handling skills right away, you're going to be benched. So you're going to want to make sure that you are going to do some point guard drills, some dribbling drills, so that you can become a point guard if needed. And generally speaking, because of what I was mentioning earlier, the guard is becoming basically a swing guard where you can play either position anyways. You might as well get ready for both positions. So there you have it. You have the small forward and the power forward, depending on the offense being the exact same player, generally the fastest players on the court. Then you could also have the centers and the power forwards, depending obviously on the size of the power forward, who can play the low post. And then also you have the guards, who are going to be the ones who are handling the ball, taking the shots, doing a lot of the running. However, the small forward, I always like to have him as our fastest player on the court, because he's going to be the one who's leaking out down the court. He's going to be the one who is going to be cutting along the baseline, asking for the ball, getting screened by two post players, popping out, maybe taking a shot, making sure that he is able to shoot the shot as well. So if you want to become a very good player, it doesn't matter if you're a center, if you're a point guard, there's a few things that you want to be really good at, and that is shooting, dribbling, defense. Shooting, dribbling, defense. Shooting, dribbling, defense. Those are the three things you want to be good at. If you're a big man, even if you're a point guard, it's even more impressive is if you're good at getting rebounds. But if you're doing jump training anyways, you're going to be good at that. If you're playing good defense, you're going to be getting good at rebounding anyways. You're going to be boxing out, making sure you can get that rebound. So, three things: shooting, passing, or shooting, dribbling, and rebounding, or defense. It's getting hot out here. I'm probably getting burnt. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another Twice a Day basketball video.